using the third aspect.
Eri chekara pamata address lo shi natita kriyata lo khabar. Apamata address karo atita kriyata. Natita kriyata sara yana pyacha bido lo ta ba ba. Atita kriya sara karo maya mana be ne pyi lo ta ba. Yogi ha ga noza ga sa bido no so iya de win bido pyan pyo twa de thi di twin ma shi ma bu tati vitha ja ya de mashi bu ka wo na sita tama kho de ayun li che te ga tin sha po de ayun ku ko maya mana be ne ma pya ma cha si be ne shi ma ni ya ba de maအဲ့ဒီရှုမှတ်ရမယ်တာဝန်ပြက်ကွယ်သွားလို့ရှိရင်နတ္တိတကိယတာဖြစ်တော့ဖြစ်လို့ရှိရင်ဒါပမတ္တဖြစ်သွားတာမယမနာအာထုတ်နေလို့ရှိရင်တော့အဲ့ဒီအာထုတ်တဲ့ယောဂီပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ဟာအပမတ္တဖြစ်တာပဲ
The third aspect is in Pali to give the sense of pamatta. The word is used as anattita kriyata. And for the apamatta, it is attita kriyata. Sayadaw says, anattita kriyata means while the yogis are doing their practice, they don't do the practice in continuous flow. They are often taking rest in between. They are doing just little practice and then again rest, again little practice and then again little rest. So in that way, when there won't be continuity of the practice, non-stop practice, then it is the nature of pamatta, a nature of dullness, a nature of inactiveness. Yogis must have the interest in the practice to keep continuously, except the sleeping hours. Since they get up from their sleeping, they should try to note all the objects, whatever may arise at the present moment. All the time there should be proper attention in the practice. Then the nature of apamatta will be there.
Motoka ne taniya ma taniya khiri twa lo de puggul haရှိဘူးဆိုတာမော်တော်ကားကိုဆက်နှိုးပြီးတော့ဆိုင်ရာခီယာသွင်းပြီးကိုရောက်လို့တဲ့စီဥတီပြီးတော့ဗောလေရင်ကြောပေါ်မှာမမမောင်းနေရတာပဲကြားရတယ်မရှိဘူးသို့တော့ကားကတော့ရရတဲ့အခါမျိုးတော့ရှိပါတယ်စီးတို့ကတော့ဖြည့်တင်းတဲ့အခါဗောလေရေတွေပါထဲတဲ့အခါဗောလေပြီးတော့ကိုရောက်လို့တဲ့စီဥတီသွားနေတော့မှာက traffic တွေပါဖြစ်လို့ရှိရင် ပြီးတော့ traffic light တွေပါလေအနီပါလေပြလို့ရှိရင်တော့မလွဲမသွေမလွဲမကင်းတာအနေနဲ့ရတာမျိုးရှိပါတယ်အဲဒီကြတော့မရလို့မဖြစ်တော့ယောဂီကတော့မရရဘူးဒီမရနာတဲ့အချိန်ဆိုတော့တိတာမရှိဘူးအိပ်ပျော်နေတဲ့အချိန်လောက်ပဲရရတာသူကသူအိပ်ပျော်သွားမှာအိပ်ပျော်လို့ပျော်မချင်းရတော့မက်ကတော့မရရဘူးပေါ်နေရတာဟိုကားကတော့စီဒီပါရီဖြည့်တဲ့အခါဆိုစိတ်ရထားမလုံးကင်းတာဒီပြင်အခြားကိစ္စတွေရှိလို့ရှိရင်ရရတာယောဂီကတော့ရရတယ်မရှိဘူးအိပ်ပျော်ခြင်းပဲရတဲ့အချိန်ပဲလားတိတာရတဲ့အချိန်မရှိဘူးအဲဒီတော့နေရ
Sadhu says when people travel by car and they start the car through using the gear and while in the traveling process they are continuously driving the car according to the traffic road and traffic rules and regulations. But sometimes there are some occasions to stop the car to fill the gas or petrol, or to when there will be traffic light or traffic jam, then they have to stop in such cases. Sadhu says, in the practice, you shouldn't have any time to rest or to stop. When you wake up, since then, you should have the constant noting process until again you go to bed. There is no such moment to stop and to rest. All the time, practice work should be there without having any rest, without stop. Then progress will be there.
Kamara si phireတဲ့အခါကြက်ထားပြီမဲ့လို့ယောဂီများမလွယ်မကင်းတဲ့အနေနဲ့အစအသောက်ဒီစားတော့ခန္ဓာကိုယ်ကြီးကိုစီထဲတဲ့အခါမျိုးမှာမရရဘူးမှာယောဂီဒီလည်းပဲမှတ်နေရတာပဲအစိတိခာယိတိစာယိတိသံဉာဏကာရီဟောတိဆိုတဲ့အတိုင်းပေါ့စားတဲ့အခါသူတို့တရားတောက်တဲ့အခါမုခဲဝတိတိခဲဝလူခဲတဲ့အခါနည်းနည်းကိုပြီးတော့ရရတဲ့အခါပေါ့လေလူရင်းကတော့အစားတော့ပေါ့အစားတော့ယောဂီတာစီဖြစ်တာပဲဒီခန္ဓာကိုယ်စိတ်ကြီးအများအားသွားနေအောင်ခုကားကတော့စီဖြစ်တဲ့အခါရထားမှစိတ်ရထားမှဖြစ်တာယောဂီကတော့သတိပဋ္ဌာန်စိတ်ကြီးအများအားလဲပတ်နေအောင်ရိက္ခာဖြည့်တော့အခါစီထဲတဲ့အခါတော့မရရဘူးမှာဒါလည်းမှတ်ရတာပဲထိုင်တဲ့အခါလောက်နဲ့စီးရလျှောက်တဲ့အခါလောက်သာအလုပ်ဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ကြံတဲ့အချိန်တွေမှာအလုပ်မဖြစ်ဘူးဆိုရင်အဲ့ဒီအချိန်တွေဟာရနေတာနဲ့တူတူပဲ
Although the car has to stop when it needs petrol or gas because the engine couldn't run during that moment, but the car engine of Satipatthana practice shouldn't be stopped, even though the yogis are feeling the gasolines in their stomach. Even at that moment also they should have the awareness what they are doing. If they are drinking, they should aware that drinking as drinking. If they are taking food, they have to aware they are taking food. If they are tasting the food, then they have to aware that tasting the food. If they are drinking some juice or water, anything, then they have to aware that they are drinking something. So whether they take, whether they eat, whether they drink, whether they taste, and whether they lick something, and whether they chew something, whether they swallow something, during that moment also, there should be noting mind. Without noting mind, they shouldn't take those things or fill their gasolines to have strength to do the further practice. So therefore, during such moment also, meditators should be alert and note with full interest and having much attention towards the object, what they are doing at that moment. There is no stoppage in the practice.
ခုနရင်ကြောဘောကလည်းရင်ကြောတိုင်းတစ်ခါတခါလဲနှုံးမှန်မှန်နဲ့မောင်းနေရတယ်တစ်ခါတခါလဲနှုံးမြန်မြန်နဲ့မောင်းရတာလည်းရှိပါတယ်ရှောင်စရာတိုက်စရာမရှိဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့နှုံးတည်ပြီးတော့မောင်းရတယ်နှုံးတည်မောင်းလို့တတ်မှတ်ထားတဲ့နှုံးနဲ့များလို့ရှိရင်ပလိကဖမ်းမိမလို့ယောဂီမှာတော့နှုံးမှန်မှန်နဲ့မောင်းတာနှုံးမှန်မှန်နဲ့မှတ်နေတာခါလဲနှုံးတည်ပြီးတော့မှတ်နေတာဘယ်ပလိကမှမဖမ်းဘူးအဲ့ဒါတခုတော့ခြားလာတယ်
While the driver is driving the car, it depends how much the traffic jam is there or not. If the road is free and no any hindrances are there in the traffic road, so they can speed up their car. And if there will be some hindrances or traffics, then they can again reduce their speed. So the driver has to reduce the speed and sometimes increase the speed. But in the practice, the speed must be in same flow, in same speed. Yogis don't need to reduce their speed and don't need to increase their speed. They have to run the Satipatthana car in the same speed all the time.
ဒီမှာကတော့နှုံးမှန်မှန်နဲ့မောင်းနေတဲ့ကားလိုပေါ့လေယောဂီတွေလည်းပဲနှုံးမှန်မှန်နဲ့တော့မှတ်နေတာတွေ့တော့ဘုန်းကြီးတော့အများကြီးဝန်တာပါတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်တစ်ခါတစ်ခါနှုံးတင်ပြီးတော့မောင်းရတာလေးတွေရှိပါတယ်နည်းနည်းလေးပေါ့လေဒီမှာနှုံးတင်ပြီးတော့မောင်းဟုတ်နှုံးတင်ပြီးတော့မှတ်တဲ့ယောဂီတွေလည်းပဲရှိကောင်းရှိပါလိမ့်မယ်
Sayadaw says Sayadaw is very happy to see the yogis who are really practicing with same speed all the time. But there might be some yogis who are trying to increase the speed. And it is also necessary sometimes increase the speed according to the ability of the noting mind, but not to reduce the speed.
တချို့ယောဂီများတော့တရားလာပြီးတော့အထုတာနောက်ပိုင်းမအေးတော့နောက်ပိုင်းစဉ်းစားမှုတွေပါဒီပေါ့လေဒါတွေဝင်ရတာကြောက်ကြမှုတွေကျိုးလည်းပဲပြန်ကန်နေကြတော့နည်းနည်းစိတ်အားလေးတွေရော့ပြီးတော့ပေါ့လေဒီရှေ့သွားမဲ့ဂီယာထိုးရမယ်ဆိုဘက်ဂီယာထိုးပြီးတာနဲ့မလို့ရှေ့မတက်နိုင်မလဲဖြစ်နေတာလည်းရှိတယ်ယောဂီဒါလည်းသိတော့မများလာပါဘူးဒီမှာ
But there are yogis who are near to end their practice and who have some engagement and some kind of previous various activities, engagement in the household duties. So when those thoughts are coming in their mind, although they need to gear to increase their speed, but they are using the back gear. So they are, instead of going forward, they are getting backward.
Kunya tine biara mawa. Denia yogi diaga. Girlfriend ji de. Era bi. Yam. Tria. I don't know if you
So Sayadaw is not saying these words because of his mere thought. Once there came a yogi and who was telling Sayadaw why he couldn't do the practice well. He has girlfriend, so he was remembering the girlfriend again and again, and that is why he couldn't do the practice well. So that is why he is using back gear. That is why the difficulty was there, Venerable Sir, for me. So
automatic gears in Puro Kono, you can throw it.
So Sayadaw would like to suggest the other yogis not to use the back gear. Just try to use the front gear. If it is automatic, then it doesn't matter.
Second, Miyamana, Tuanima, Peti Urema, who are modern, said the charging the winner, charging Akauma, and who are the lower. You know, a child shield of anybody dealership in the lower. You know, she mean now we load me level RPB. Miyamana do alone, to a winner. Niera in the year de Panima. No motor level said to the county. Namadu when I Taluwa Yogi, 7 Piaku, had a 3% said Le Panima, Mayamana, Matima. Dama, say it in Azuli when I Uriya Ari, King Ari, Miambia Manning Ari, say Susi Ari. You know, you were not Yari, came me to say Chile, who Ari. A 2 day count, I see. Bomovida Atulu, Sanda Ari. No, a demi Ari, a Linda de the Kadayala. You know, Nalushi, Kara, Yalashi, but he don't know him, but he don't know him. Said Lepani, but he charged Yogi, a mere jago. As I did, Mayamana Shumani, lived on charging the say, as if charging the one nothing.
Sayadaw says, as in the car, when the motor and engine working properly and the battery charging is getting strength. Because of the continuous charging, the battery doesn't go down. And because of the proper charging, so the rear light also also be brightened well, and the front light also works precisely. And if you blow the, what is called that, horn, then the horn also blow in proper sound, so everything goes right if the charging is running all the time. In the same way, when you are driving the Satipatthana car, so mental force charging should be there all the time. As much as you charge the mental forces, then the Satipatthana car could be driven very well. And because of that forceful charging of Satipatthana practice, so you can see various natural things. You can see how you can keep away all sorts of hindrances, and how you can clearly see the noting mind getting brighter and brighter, and how you are knowing all those knowable natural phenomenal aspects one after another. Therefore, the charging should be kept running all the time, not to stop it. When the car stops and you don't use the car, then the battery goes down, and it may be difficult to use the gear, as well as it might be difficult to charge the battery again. In the same way, if you couldn't charge your mental forces in your Satipatthana practice car, then it may get down, and your practice may not be successful.
Kama bati down valo shi se nuya da khete. Yogi de the kara ajong ali so ka bati down ne ani ne bo li. Yana pya cha bi da lo lo shi. Now thai ni now athong mu di ma. Asek ka pyat twa do amat nu ya da tro khete. Chu le be siat ta ja lo chu le be kamathan sia ne twi ya ma jaw ne. Somewhere if you see somewhere, Jama Jawdu Bolima. As we finish at the yogi, the Shiva. You know the girl, but he don't know. You said no, I was Lucy. You don't know what she did. You come Tansia, Abi and in everybody. Yogi social area, Abi and in it. Don't know, no beer. With the mother, but he don't look. No, I can't come you. A little sad, Salu Kedi Yogi, the Shiva Mopo, but the Agone Yogi, Mati Send Yogi, Yavali Melutima.
When you stop the car for a longer period and the battery goes down, it is difficult to start the car engine. So in the same way, in your practice also, if your charging up mental force is getting down, then it is difficult to get progress in your practice. And when you cannot do precise practice, constant practice, so you lose your confidence and get the sad feeling yourself, and even you lose your practice. And when you lose your practice or your battery goes down, even you may afraid of seeing the meditation teacher. When you have to go to interview, you don't want to go to. And Sayadaw thinks that the yogis who are practicing here, there may not be such type of yogis who are afraid of seeing the teacher and going to the interview. Therefore, not to have that kind of fear in your practice, so constant charging should be there, not to get down your battery. Otherwise, you will be a same student who hasn't done his or her exercise properly, and when exam comes, while he is going to sit the exam, he gets fear in his mind. If you lose your confidence in your practice, so you also have such type of fear to see the teacher and to go to interview.
ဝိရုပိဋကဓမ္မကျက်ကဆိုတဲ့ပါဠိစကားလုံးကြားဘူးပါလိမ့်မယ်ဓမ္မကျက်ကဆိုတဲ့စကားစုမှာဓမ္မအယစတိပဋ္ဌာနာတိဓမ္မောဧဝကျမ်းဂန်များမှာပြထားပါတယ်စတိပဋ္ဌာန်အစရှိတဲ့တရားဟာဓမ္မစက္ကမှာဓမ္မအယယူပါတဲ့လက်တွေ့ပြောလို့ရှိရင်ကိုယ်ငယ်ဒီပေါ်တိုင်းမပြတ်မလားဆွေးမြဲစွာရှိမှတ်တဲ့ကာနုဝဆနာစိပြီးတော့ခံစားမှုဝေဒနာတွေဖြစ်တိုင်းမပြတ်မလားဆွေးမြဲစွာရှိမှတ်တဲ့ဝေဒနာနုဝဆနာစိပြီးတော့စေကုစဉ်းစားကြံစည်မှုတွေဖြစ်တိုင်းမပြတ်မလားဆွေးမြဲစွာရှိမှတ်တဲ့စိတ်ဓာတ်နုဝဆနာစိပဋ္ဌာန်နဲ့မြင်မှုကြောက်မှုအစရှိတဲ့အထွေတွေသဘောမူရာတွေမယမနာမပြတ်မချပဲနဲ့အမြဲပြတ်ရှိမှတ်တဲ့ဓမ္မနုဝဆနာစိပဋ္ဌာန်အဲ့ဒီတရားအဲ့ဒါလိုရှိမှတ်မှုမျိုးဓမ္မကျက်ကဓမ္မအရာယူထားပါတယ်ကျက်ကဆိုတဲ့သဘောကလုံငန်းရဲ့အကျိုးကိုနားလည်ပြီးတော့တန်ဖိုးထားတဲ့စိတ်နဲ့ပေါ့လေယူတည်တည်စိတ်ဆက်ဆက်မယမနာပေါ့လေပြတ်ချမ်းမှုမရှိပဲနဲ့မယမနာသွားနေတယ်အမှတ်ဒီအစမပြတ်သွားနေတာဘောတနာဆိုတာစက်ကခေါ်တာအဲ့လိုမယမနာသွားနေတာအစက်ကခေါ်တာအဲ့တော့ဓမ္မနဲ့စက်ကပေါင်းလိုက်လို့ရှိရင်ဓမ္မကျက်ကဖြစ်သွားတယ်
Sayadaw says most of the yogis might know the word Dhammacakka in Pali, the first discourse of the Buddha. In that Dhammacakka word, Dhamma refers the practicing of 4 Satipatthana. Practicing the contemplation of body and practicing the various contemplation of the various feelings and practicing the contemplation of the mind as well as various mental objects, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and so on and so forth. All these 4 Satipatthanas are used in that Dhamma word as the Dhamma faculty. And Chakka means keeping the noting process of one of those 4 foundations of my mindfulness without stopping in between, and one has to follow the practice non-stop. They has to do the practice non-stop. Noting must be continuous. Constant noting is necessary. And when that kind of process will be there, then the Chakka word becomes meaningful. And Chakka gives the same meaning. Non-stop turning the 4 foundation, one of the 4 foundations of the mindfulness. All the time noting should be there. Therefore, the Pavattana words also used in that first discourse as Dhamma Chakka Pavattana. Chakka and Pavattana has got the same kind of meaning. So Chakka means wheel. As the wheel is turning round and round without stop, in the same way the Dhamma practice must be kept turning round and round all the time without having any gap in between. And to have that turning force, so one's mental power should be used all the time to note one of those four objects.
Makali de ku phit twa lo shi ye Mege Shipa pa nida be. Mege Shipa pa bong aro taniya we shin lin ke ba de. Da ma lo jaw ka le so that pi lo shin ma ma.
Sadhu says in each and every noting there are 8 noble paths constantly following, and that fact Sadhu had already explained before also, but because the consequence is coming here, therefore Sadhu would like to repeat it in brief again.
Tisha Porai Shukushuka Ayungu Malosram Hana Ye Dwet Chow Manzua, Janya Saipini Shukun Ayunzi, Shumades Lijao Town Chow Mane, Don Ali, say Don Ali Mirashina. Get a Samoa make him. Chow Manzua, Janya Saipini. Malotam Manila, Samasi making the Fila. Says a Mia Shumia, I was Sugule cycle, the Kanaka Jadware. Samasmari making Penny there. Bore, I am 2 young Tavi, swimmers were Shulu. Shuya was a glazed to see me die. Uriya Sadi Samari Kore Samari Kanda one. Marisa making 2 new party. I will imagine a level change my video, Yadazi Penny. Tete la Lucy, the woman lady, Tigora. Down at dinner, Luta, you shall, Sally boy. Change my video, someone think about making. I will imagine a terror, let someone think about making. The woman lady, Titi, Dora, somebody making. I am bad one. Shuma Daima, John Ali as well body. Title body. The Marisa making the pan at the one Pina say making the bar body. Tila nega busy nene, Dila making it. Tila de Majum Bamobia and Jaus on the scene, Dila say making a pini. Either the Yogia Gabriel Mancane Harry Bionia. Jonah Dio Yansgari Mabio, Chuda in Jis or Lebio. The Master Yogi is a Gambio Jabo, Tovare. There are Nimer as a guy, Bioda, Hofu. You are judging Hamangan, Bio, Sati, body. Some of them are making it, the chin. See, you're not making it. Some are making it. Tata, Piata, Koda. Good at my Shivadila, Saudita, Sevadila, Saudita, Bokutis, or Kupine, Metomura, my shown Harris. Some are making it, Pitama, I Pitama. You know, the one you left Mangani, there's some are you making a party. Dila long showing the sea, Dila and busy name. Dila say I'm making Toyan, should I my taking the one making I Ponsale de Kajado, making Shiba at a Tama. 3 times the coup hit or the sea, and making Shiba Chindia Tama at a 7 at a Tamaseka. A letter to Maseka. Dila le panida, le pama piapshinida. Tamadi Dama le pama piapshinida. Pinya Dama le Kali as well, body Dama, a piapshinida. I'm not too young. Who are Sarega Tamasecha, who are Letwi Tamasecha. Tamini Mani, Jimon Chauser, Lepani, how many so don't yet and I so don't know Chauya, Lepani, Dama Tamaseka, Sibe.
Sayadaw says, while the yogis are noting all the objects beginning from the primary object, rising and falling and so on, while they are noting, suppose if they are noting rising object, to note the rising object, they need to directly send their mind towards the object. To send their noting mind towards the object, the precise effort is necessary. Without that effort, one cannot get the object. So therefore, at first there will be the precise and direct, straightforward effort. Right effort is there, and that is one of the limbs of Eight Noble Paths. And while they are forcing their mind with precise effort to get the object, and because of that effort, the ability to note the object follows from the beginning to the end, rising as rising. The noting mind, which follows from the beginning to the end precisely, is the right mindfulness or right observing power. When the observing power follows in that way with the notable object, and the yogi's mind falls there, not scattering anywhere the mind, it sticks to the object and penetrates the object as it is entering into the object. Although it is momentary, but there is the power of concentration to stick with the object and with the object being stable on the object. So these three limbs are the concentration group limbs. When these three groups will be in the noting process, then gradually concentration get strength. While concentration gets strength, aiming also gradually becomes accurate. And the accuracy of aiming is the right thought, a right intention. And when the intention is accurately, forcefully coming to with the object, so the yogi is enabled to see the nature of the object, the phenomenal nature of the object. And that seeing means knowing the nature of that object, how the rising is there, what is in it. So all these things come into the yogi's mind, and they realizes that the object is moving such and such way, and there are such and such natures. That is right understanding. So these 5 factors of Eight Noble Paths are there to know precisely the noting object. Although during the practicing moment, the limbs of the precepts may not be clear how they involve in that noting moment. If you try to discern yourself, while you are working with the object, rising as rising, could there be any unwholesome physical activities occurring during that moment? Nothing are there as the unwholesome physical act. You are not trying to harm anybody, any being at that time. You are not taking life of other beings. And you are not stealing, as the yogis who are observing some 8 precepts and some 10 precepts. Because of the observance of precepts, even they are giving up the sensuous pleasures which they belong. So therefore, there isn't any kind of physical unwholesome activities occurring at that time. So the right action is there. And you are not speaking lie at that time. You are not speaking any false speeches at that time. You are not speaking harsh speeches at that time. You are not backbiting at that time. And you are not using frivolous talks, useless talks at that time. And here the yogis are so praiseworthy. They are observing noble silence themselves. So they don't use to talk. And they are precisely observing the precept which could be easily broken through the speech. So therefore, the right speech also there during the moment of noting the rising process as rising. And during that moment, you are not doing any unwholesome acts and you're using unwholesome speeches to earn your living. So right livelihood also there during that moment. In such a way, in one noting moment, there are the following 8 noble paths. So therefore, when one practices Satipatthana, there follows all 8 noble path limbs together with that practice. And those 8 noble paths, if you are noting each and every moment for 1 minute, then you might have 60 times of development of 8 noble paths. And if you are enabled to note for 5 minutes, 300 times you are developing the 8 noble path. If you are noting for 1 hour, then 3,600 noting 6,000. The 8 noble path